I got a Sig 365 to check out here today. This is a current production. We just got this a few days ago. The reason I say that is because apparently some of the original ones had some issues, and I didn't read into a whole lot about it, but I know some of the original production, the release ones, when they first came out, had issues. Anyways, this one was purchased in 2021, so shouldn't have any issues out of it. It's got the tritium sights on it, so they glow in the dark. You can see that front one's glowing there nice, but I checked them out in the house last night in the dark, and they do glow a little, so you can see what you're shooting at night. These things we're going to try out later today on the range. We're going to put some through here, but then also a 9mm carbine to try out. Just try them out. You know, I kind of already seen what they did and everything, but basically these, the back of them, they glow, so it's not like your traditional tracer round where they ignite. And also I believe these are the ones, if you're at more than, it's the shooter perspective can see it, but if you're more than a 30-degree angle away from it, you can't see it because only the back of the bullet glows. But we're gonna go try these out later, so making a separate video for that. I will link it in the description. I don't know, I might pop one or two in here for you guys in this video. It depends on how the day goes, but definitely check that out later. We're gonna shoot them clear out the 500 yards later tonight in a separate video, and just basically go through all of them and check it out. So like I said, I'll post a link to that in the description. So this comes with this little holster here. I do believe it's outside the waistband holster, and then it comes with all these weird little things that you gotta like kind of assemble it and snap them on there so you can put your belt through it. 3 magazines, lock. They're all 12+1 capacity. I'm pretty sure they make 10-round versions of this for like California and whatnot, but we got the 12-rounder here. Anyways, I haven't got to shoot one of these yet, so I've always wanted to. I'm really looking forward to this, so I'm gonna load these mags up, take some shots, and then we'll come back to the table and talk about it a little more. So this is the ammo we're gonna be using. Most of the stuff is Blazer, just aluminum case, I believe, or it might be Federal or whatever, but it's aluminum case stuff. You can see there's a few random brass case in there. This is just my loose odd and end stuff, so I want to burn through this today instead of, you know, the good stuff. Real quick, because I was debating this in the beginning of the video, this comes with multiple clips, so you can use it outside waistband or inside. You can see these ones here have a clip, so you can clip it over the edge of your pants, so you can set it up either way. Fuck it. Alright. Brand new gun, first mag. Go for that center target. He dead. Zoom in on that. 3 hits in almost the same spot, and it still wouldn't fall over. Alright, you ready? Man. I had a few misses on that mag, but these are not one to knock over. So that's good. 3 mags without a hitch, and I definitely wasn't easy on it. So one thing I noticed out there, and I just got to get used to the trigger a little bit, it looks like I was pulling some of them low. We'll go knock all these down again, but I want to try to do a little group with it real quick. The other things I'm noticing is that this slide, especially with a full mag, but even without, it's rather stiff compared to other 9mm, and especially like compared to my Taurus G2. That's real easy to pull back. I would say this is about twice as hard to pull back as the Taurus G2. But not only compared to that gun, compared to other compact and subcompact 9mm, this takes some considerable effort to rack the slide. And these magazines, man, that 12th one's a real pain in the butt. And I opened the box up looking for a speed loader or an assist loader or whatever, and with all the stuff it came with, it didn't come with one of those. So that would definitely help get that 12th round in there. So yeah, these mags are pretty freaking stiff, and then also racking the slide's pretty stiff too. So you want to keep that in consideration if you have weak hands, whether it be you're a small female or an older gentleman or whatever. Well, that's pretty accurate. Obviously, that was no rest or anything, just kneeling a little bit, I'm definitely a little low, and that could be because I'm close, potentially, maybe higher out it'd be on here, but I thought that when I was shooting at targets that I was shooting a little low, and it definitely seems to be the case here that I'm coming in a little low. But also, the top of my blade was like right here. So basically that bullet was going right where the green dot was. A lot of handguns, it's a 6 o'clock hold, so if you hold here, it'll hit here. But currently, with me shooting this, and sometimes it's different for other people, but it's going, well, at least at about 7 yards, it's going right where that green dot is. I'm empty here, but I just realized I forgot to show you guys the sight picture, so that's what you're looking at there. And when I was shooting that target, those bullets were going right where that green dot is. But again, that was kind of close range, so a little further out they might be right on top of that blade for a center hold, but technically it's a smidge low at close range right now. I did not want to chamber that one. Maybe I didn't smack it in all the way. That's the other thing I noticed. These are real tight, and you got to give them a good whack to get them to click in. It's dragging on that shell, which that's weird because that was brass. The aluminum ones, I didn't have it catch that bad. So every one of those I hit, 2 of them didn't want to go down, but I didn't miss any, so I slowed down to make sure I hit them all that time. So yeah, like I said, everything's pretty stiff. I can already notice that just after those few mags that it's already started to loosen up a little bit. These mags are real stiff. I'm probably going to leave them all loaded at home for like a week to make that spring a little softer, which will also make chambering that first round a little easier. That on that brass one, that's the only one it hung up on me like that with, so I don't know what was. Maybe there was a burr or something in the case, because brass should feed better than aluminum, but so I'm just gonna chalk that one up to a fluke, but also, like I said, it'll be smoother once it breaks in. But other than that, I'm really digging this thing. Like, it just, I don't know, feels natural. And I mean, it took me a few magazines to get used to it, but even at that, I didn't do too terrible with the first few mags. And well, looks pretty accurate over there. And also I had to find out that it was shooting just a smidge low and adjust, and yeah, but whew, yeah, I like it a lot. That's one other thing, is this thing is pretty small too. If you handle them, you see that for yourself, but they're pretty thin. It's on par about with like a Smith & Wesson Shield, but it feels a little thinner to me. It's got a better balance. I like the grip better. I wish I could do a heads up, but yeah, I'm really liking this gun. So and like my G2 that I mentioned earlier in this video, this is definitely smaller than my G2. The G2 is a little bit longer, and the G2 is most definitely wider, but they both hold 12 rounds. So I definitely give a nod to this one on that. I'm really digging this thing. That's why I keep talking about it. But anyways, the only thing I noticed before I brought it out here, and it's by design because it's a carry gun. We are empty here, so don't freak out. So once you get your take up here, this trigger, it's kind of like a hybrid between a single action and a double action, because it doesn't work like a single action where there's like just a little creep and then it goes off, or no creep depending on how high end of a gun it is. But it's also not a double action to where it's long heavy pull all the way until clear in the back and then it goes off. But it's like a hybrid. It's somewhere in between that. So once you get your take up, then there's a considerable amount of play. See, hopefully you could see that it creeped on me a few times. Can you pull that back and reset the trigger for me? So I'll do it one more time so maybe you can see it. And it's heavy. It's probably about, if I had to guess, 6.5, 7 pounds. So it's not like super heavy like an actual double action, and it has more play than a generic single action trigger, but or creep I should say, sorry, but not nearly like a double action. So it's somewhere in between there. It's like a hybrid. Like I said, that's purpose built. So a lot of people like to carry double action self-defense pistols, so the trigger is a long heavy pull and you don't have to worry about, like, when you pull it out you accidentally pull the trigger and the gun goes off, negligent discharge or whatever it's called. So this is kind of in between. Now, I had worried about this causing issues out here with me because I do not like double action triggers, and it causes me to sling lead everywhere. But when practicing at home before we came out, I noticed that when I pulled the trigger, I didn't flinch or anything like that. And it's not even flinching, that's the wrong word. It's just like the heavy weight and the long pull a lot of times would cause me to, when it would go off, it would pull because I'm having to pull all that long weight. But I didn't experience any of that in practice. So I'm like, wow, even though this is heavy and it's got a lot of creep, it doesn't cause me to go this way or this way or this way when it breaks. So I figured that it would be a non-issue, and that's definitely the case. I mean, it took me a few magazines to get used to it, but after that, I'm running it just like it's a traditional single action trigger. So just thought I should mention that, because like I said, it's a little different, and I was concerned that it might cause issues for me, but it doesn't. And like I said, there's a purpose behind that. It's a little long and heavy that way. It's safer to carry that way if you want such a thing. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty much in love with this thing now. So if you're considering one, I would definitely go check one out, because I would say that highly recommending this. I really like it and it performs well. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you leave me a like. I would appreciate it very much. If you want to be notified when I post, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, click all, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.